Brookhaven is surrounded by a vast ocean, a sometimes torrid waterway both above the surface and below it. Most days, it's a lovely setting for fun and recreation. Others, it's the site of tragedy and sheer terror. These are those stories. Here are 7 of the worst boat disasters in Brookhaven history. The 1970s were a high point in Brookhaven tourism, drawing in thousands of vacationers every year, all eager to see its unique landmarks and enjoy its extensive recreational offerings. In 1978, the tourism industry was booming with fantastic bus tours and a newly offered boat tour, tracing the perimeter of the island. One fine May afternoon, 7 tourists set sail on the SS Brooks, eager to get a unique aquatic-based view of the lovely island of Brookhaven. Among them, a wealthy Robloxian couple, a local scientist, a young farm girl, a popular film star, and the 2-man crew. As the charter yacht reached the furthest point of its loop, a very sudden and unexpected storm popped up, with heavy rains and strong winds, tossing the regal watercraft wildly off course, smashing it into a deserted island. With their vessel destroyed, the group was stranded. Alas, their will to live was strong, and the 7 castaways set up a sustainable habitat on the island, where they lived for an impressive 3 years before finally being rescued in June of 1981. The event was traumatic for the individuals involved and detrimental to the tourism industry and, in turn, economy of Brookhaven. (1794). The waters of Brooksea were a highly traveled waterway used primarily to transport valuable items such as gold, which is precisely what Alton Porter and Marshall Hamilton were doing one September afternoon. Thrilled with their expensive cargo, they navigated through low visibility back home to the newly formed settlement of Brookhaven, until, through the fog, the unmistakable foreboding sight stopped them cold. It was a pirate ship. A pair of ruthless pirates stormed their ship, forcing them to walk the plank. The 2 pirates proceeded to commandeer the vessel and claim the immense treasure for themselves, until another, even larger pirate ship emerged from the fog, and 2 even better pirates pirated the previously pirated ship, overtaking the first set of pirates, stealing the stolen gold, and returning to their homeland, never to be seen again. The town of Brookhaven suffered greatly from the loss of their gold shipment, leading to a period of severe economic depression lasting for most of the 19th century. July 2022. A full cargo ship with a crew of 7 was traveling north across the Brooksea. At the same time, a personal yacht with 1 occupant traveled westward. The yacht, named the SS Karen after its owner, 44-year-old Karen Wilkes, was traveling at a high speed, well above safe speed standards, as it approached a large island just a few miles off the south banks of Brookhaven. The island fully obstructed Karen's view of the approaching cargo ship, and the SS Karen's weak radar signal made the yacht undetectable to the ship. As both vessels emerged from the cover of the island, it was too late to avoid collision, resulting in a violent crash, resulting in the subsequent sinking of both the yacht and the cargo ship. Karen Wilkes was transported to the hospital in critical condition, but the entire crew of the cargo ship did not survive, and neither did the goods aboard the vessel. This disruption to the supply chain caused many businesses around town to suffer a devastating loss in inventory. Including, in a sad coincidence, the hospital, who lost vital medical supplies, resulting in the death of Karen Wilkes 2 days later. The Bacon Noob War raged through the 1980s in Brookhaven, with countless battles and lives lost. But perhaps one of the most notable ones was the 1985 maritime battle, during which the Noob Army submarine was discovered by a Bacon Army warship. The Noobs aboard the NSS Noobloxia launched missiles just as the Bacons aboard the BSS Pork fired shots, leading to simultaneous destruction. The hull of the submarine was breached and depressurized, and the Bacon ship was decimated to bits. Bacon bits. The altercation further incensed the already bitter enemies, escalating and extending the war, resulting in more fighting, more destruction, and more loss of lives. In June 1996, wealthy real estate developer Carson McDougal and his new wife Michelle were on their honeymoon, a sailboat trip around the world. But the trip of their dreams quickly turned into a nightmare when the boat started taking on water. There was no time to get back to shore. Within minutes, the boat was completely underwater, leaving the honeymooning couple treading water in the middle of the Brooks Sea. Fortunately, the McDougals had life vests, helping them stay afloat as they waited helplessly in the middle of the ocean, waiting for help they knew may never come. As if things weren't bad enough, they soon got worse. For 14 hours, a school of sharks circled the couple as they floated, frozen in fear. And then, the unthinkable happened, as Carson McDougal was attacked and pulled under, leaving Michelle shocked, terrified, and alone in the middle of the shark-infested waters. Hours later, help finally came, rescuing the woman and miraculously finding her severely injured but still alive husband washed up on an island 3 miles away. The incident sparked fear in the town of Brookhaven, resulting in the closure of beaches for the entire summer, greatly and negatively impacting the tourism industry for years. In 1994, Brooks Wonderland was a popular amusement park located on the west side of Brookhaven. That October, on the park's last day of operations for the season, One Last Trip, a local business run by travel agent Tina DeWitt, took a group of elderly clients to the park. At 12:46 p.m., the group boarded Swanland, a gentle boat ride featuring swan-shaped vehicles slowly traversing the lake. At 12:47, their swans entered the lengthy, tunneled portion of the ride. 16 seconds later, a strong earthquake hit, damaging many parts of the amusement park and causing a massive rock slide, fully obstructing the entrance to the Swanland Tunnel. The elderly people were trapped inside, and in the chaos from the event, were forgotten and left in the tunnel until their remains were discovered 4 months later when the park prepared to open for the 1995 season. Brooks Wonderland was promptly shut down, as was One Last Trip. It was August 2003, and the TV show Daredevils was all the rage. It featured a daredevil named Johnny Bloxville and his group of equally uninhibited friends who filmed themselves doing ridiculous, dangerous stunts just for entertainment. At Brookhaven's popular entertainment festival known as Brookfest, Daredevils was set to showcase its biggest spectacle ever, which they called Ski Roulette. It featured multiple people doing a daring high-speed jet ski race, all headed for the same place at the same time, just to see if they would miss each other or collide with potentially catastrophic results. All of the jet skis collided and propelled violently into the crowd of fans, exploding on impact. Numerous people were lost, knocked into the waters of the Brook Sea. A lengthy search and rescue operation began immediately, spanning hours before, sadly shifting to a search and recovery mission. The casualties were innumerable, save for one survivor. Johnny Bloxville himself walked away with a few broken bones and minor burns. The incident prompted citizens to call for the permanent cancellation of Brookfest. City leaders, however, decided the event was too profitable for the city and made the very divisive and controversial decision not to suspend Brookfest. Some citizens voiced their outrage in protests and riots, resulting in even more chaos and destruction, and causing security issues every year at Brookfest. For Brookhaven, its waterways are a vital part of its livelihood, both from tourism revenue and from its reliance on vital imports and exports of goods. The town suffers when its economy suffers. That's why it's important to keep the waterways and the city at large safe. Boat disasters like these simply cannot happen.